Kino is our main protagonist in this story. He is the one who makes all of the decisions, and he is the one who the book mainly focuses on. Kino is many things in this book. You see his descent from a good person to almost a bad person. Kino follows a tradition of many book and play artists decided to do. He is what you would call a tragic hero. A tragic hero needs to be or have a tragic flaw, something that is holding them back from getting them what they want. In my opinion, it's Kino's persistence. Kino is too persistent in the book, and it ultimately causes his downfall. If at any point he thought, okay, I should stop here and let it pass, he would have never been in this issue. Another quality that a tragic hero needs is a reversal of fortune, meaning that he had something to start with and then he lost it, or the other way around. He could have started with nothing, got something, and then lost it again. Two other qualities are that he is a nice person. We are rooting for Kino. We want Kino to succeed and we want him to do well. Because ultimately, deep down, he is a good person. But there's one more quality which breaks the mold of most tragic heroes. Most tragic heroes are born of a high status. This is the only exception to the tragic hero that I know of in a book. I'm sure there are many more, but the only one that I know of. And Steinbeck pulls it off perfectly. He still portrays perfect loss. You still want to root for him. You still want to do all the things that you would normally do in the situation of a tragic hero. Kino's story is that he finds a pearl trying to save his child from a deadly scorpion poison that only the doctor can cure. But the doctor isn't willing to cure it without the pearl. And this is why he goes after the pearl. And as a result, he becomes greedy with money. He only needed the cure, but then he eventually wanted more and more, which caused his downfall. And also, ironically, led to his son's death. Trying to prevent his death almost caused it to end up happening anyway. Fate almost wanted Coyotito to die. And for these reasons, Kino is a perfect example of a tragic hero. Now let's move on to the next character on the list. It is Juana. Juana is the mother of Coyotito and the wife of Kino, and she is, in my opinion, probably the most interesting character in the Pearl. And she, in this book, is the voice of reason. She predicts, strangely, almost everything that's going to happen before it actually ends up happening. For example, she predicts that the pearl is going to be evil, which ultimately actually causes the plot to go the way it does. If at any point anyone listened to her, nothing would have really happened to be noteworthy. If they threw away the pearl the second they got it, this wouldn't be much of a story. To me, Juana is one of the best developed characters, and I think that if her character had more focus in it and was the main character, that it would be also another very amazing story, because she manages to keep herself as innocence, but at the same time have a daring personality. You see many personality types from Juana the way she is, and if she was the main character, I think we could have gotten a lot more out of that. I think Juana is the best developed character because of the way she acts towards things. It seems very human. It isn't just a generic this or that. It's not like a controlled wife or anything of the sort. It's somebody independent that you can't really predict because she has so many different parts of her personality, just like real people, which is why she is so easy to relate to, in my opinion. So when you see Juana, don't take her for granted when you just think, oh, just another character from the Pearl, just another side character, because she's not. She's more than that. She's an independent, although wife of Kino, she's very independent. She's very by herself. And that being said, let's move on to the next character on the list, Coyotito. Coyotito is the son of Juana and Kino. He is not really a major role, but he plays an important symbolism to the story. He starts out as a part of a loving family, but then he gets stung by a scorpion. And this is what causes everything else to happen. If he didn't get stung by a scorpion, none of the story would have happened at all, at any point, because they wouldn't have gone looking for the pearl that caused all of this mess. In fact, an interesting thing is that him getting stung was almost foreshadowing to what was supposed to happen to him in the book. It's almost like the author destined him to die from the second that he got stung by that scorpion. I think he intended it to be that way. And it's kind of like for a sign for a reader to find. Along with this, he has a great chance of a future. They just found a pearl, and he's an innocent one in all of this, but unfortunately, Kino's want for something so much more, which may be justified, causes his death, actually. At any point, Kino could have said, okay, that's enough. But he wanted what was best for Koyotito, and that actually led to his death. Koyotito was set with an unfortunate fate. But now, let's move on to our next person on our list, the Doctor. The Doctor is an interesting character and plays a very important role because he is the only one that can save Koyotito from this scorpion sting. But unfortunately, this is a white supremacy in the place that Kino lives, so he's not willing to without the money, and they don't have that money. To me, the Doctor is the kind of the epitome of greed. He is the face of greed. He just needs so much more when he has so much more than everyone else. He is kind of like, in my opinion, what Kino might have become if he ended up selling the pearl for as much as he could have. And although there's no indication towards it, it is a huge possibility that he is the one that sent people to steal the pearl from Kino, even causing more problems for their family. And he is just the epitome of greed. He just wants so much more than he deserves. And I think that he's an extreme version of Kino. But enough about the Doctor. On to our next character in the book. It is the Scorpion. The Scorpion, although a minor role, plays a very important role in the Book of the Pearl. The Scorpion is the first introduction to the Song of Evil, or the Song of the Enemy, that Kino introduces. It's the first time we hear of it. And the Scorpion causes this. He causes this danger for their family, and he ends up stinging Koyotito. Although there's not much to say about the Scorpion, he does play an important role. He causes the story to come into motion. Without the Scorpion, the story never would have happened. The Scorpion caused a chain of events to end up happening. Now let's move on to our next three characters on the list, the Bandits. The Bandits don't really get too much mention in the book. All that we really know about them is that one is on horseback, one has a gun, and one is an expert navigator. Other than that, there's not really much to know about them. With their professional navigation skills, it ultimately leads to them being caught, and the person that they mention with the gun actually ends up killing Koyotito. There's not much really more to say about them, but thank you for watching this guide or like character development for the Pearl. Thank you.